Hello everyone, welcome to the Yakutia Outdoors channel. Today we're dropping deep into the remote Siberian wilderness during the peak of the fall rut. The weather is brutal, the terrain is unforgiving, and in these woods, you never know what kind of monster tracks you might cut. Will the taiga reward our hunters, or will they head home empty-handed? Stick around to find out. Let's get into it. Autumn is when the forest really comes alive. The rut is starting, and the bulls are moving through the thick timber and steep hillsides looking for cows. If you listen closely, you can hear the high-pitched bugle of an elk kicking off the breeding season. The weather here is unpredictable, though. One minute it's calm and sunny. The next, dark storm clouds roll in. Up in the headwaters of this river, the Evenki people have lived for generations. They're the indigenous hunters of this land. Meet Sergey. He's an Evenki native who grew up here, though he's been away for a long time. Today, he's back to his home grounds to hunt with his buddy Egor. Their main target on this trip is the Asian elk. They love hanging out in the soft river valleys and burnt timber areas. You can also find musk deer and moose here. Sergey hasn't hunted these specific woods in years, so he's thrilled to be back where he and his brothers used to hunt big game and trap.
Autumn is here. The elk rut is on, and other animals are active too. We've got wild reindeer and moose around here. My grandfather lived right here. They used to keep reindeer. We want to preserve our traditions and start a reindeer herding community. We're scouting the area right now and hoping to bag an elk along the way. The weather just hasn't been cooperating yet.
Egor was stoked to join Sergey and experience the land of the Evenki people firsthand. For Sergey, this isn't just a trip, it's a homecoming. Navigating this terrain is no joke. It's all steep, rocky ridges and thick timber. The weather turned on them immediately, with wind and wet snow. But within hours, they cut the first fresh track of a bull elk. It's the height of the hunting season right now, so calling is the best option. They didn't bring a professional horn with them, so they're making do with what they've got.
We don't have a specialized tube, so we have to use this. It's a tube too, right?
As you can see, the gun barrel does the job perfectly well. If you know how to use it, you can get a brilliant sound out of a 28 gauge or even a 12 gauge barrel. After some time on the ridge, the forest stayed quiet. Time to head down through the heavy gray timber. In this massive wilderness, hunting side by side isn't always the best play. Two guys moving together make too much noise, so they split up to cover more ground. Egor sets up on a high vantage point to call, hoping to draw a bull in, while Sergey stays on the move, tracking and trying to push something out of the thick timber. It doubles their chances. A big part of this hunt is the waiting game. You have to be quiet and persistent. Hours turn into days, and you're always scanning the horizon, looking for any sign of movement in the vast taiga. While Egor waits on the rocks, Sergey pushes through the timber and cuts a fresh grizzly track. The bear passed through just a day or two ago, probably looking for a spot to dig its winter den. It's a quick reminder that they aren't the only apex predators in these woods. Egor keeps his eyes peeled and spots a sable up in a tree, a great sign for the upcoming trapping season. With daylight fading, they don't even need to talk it over. Both hunters know it's getting dark, so they independently decide to call it and head back to camp. Back at camp, it turns out both hunted without success today. The next morning brings fresh snow. They decide to head out separately again to maximize their chances. Egor pushes solo into the snowy timber.
Grouse were feeding here. There are 2 of them. Damn, I rushed it and missed.
It's frustrating for sure. But suddenly, Egor spots another sable in a tree, a great sign for the trapping season. Then he catches an even bigger movement through the timber. A bull is nearby. Solid result. You can tell an experienced hunter dropped the animal with a single shot. This is about a 2 or 3-year-old bull elk.
We're making Subay, traditional blood sausage, using fresh elk blood. We added salt, chopped up some garlic, and tossed in a little bit of fat. This elk turned out to be pretty fatty. We're using the large intestine here. It's perfect, doesn't leak at all. Elk blood is the cleanest. You never find parasites in the liver. You only want to fill it about a third of the way. Subay is basically just blood sausage. It's ready. You've got to lay these blood pouches down carefully so they don't tear. Look at how fatty this sausage turned out. I don't recommend slicing it all at once because the fat cools down too fast.
The following morning, Sergey takes a walk around camp just in case. Barely half a mile from the tent, he cuts a fresh moose track.
A moose just walked through here. Maybe 2 of them. Looks like the tracks of a pretty good size bull. Let's try to track him down. Looks like a good hit. Dropped right away.
What was the distance?
Probably a little over 100 yards. They make some great ammo these days. Man, what a huge moose. He was standing right about here, and look where he fell. Wow, look at the size of the hooves on this bull. There's probably a ton of bone marrow in there. This is awesome. A great harvest. Look, turns out the bullet hit him in the spine. That's why he bucked up so hard. Grandfather Bayane really blessed us. Their rut is just getting started right now. In the peak of the breeding season, these bulls usually have a really strong smell, but this one doesn't yet.
Yeah, what a surprise. Now comes the real work, processing the harvest. Because hunting isn't just about an accurate shot or a lucky encounter with an animal. It's also a lot of hard work. And that's what it's all about, guys. Seeing hunters like Sergey and Egor pack out clean, organic meat from the toughest terrain in Siberia is incredible. If you want to see more real backcountry hunts like this on the channel, smash that subscribe button. Let us know down in the comments, would you try that traditional blood sausage? Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next episode.